normally driving down this road, I've got a load of tools in the car. Great big petrol strimmer, chainsaw, loppers, can of petrol sloshing around in the back, a foul smell filling up the car. But today isn't a work day. Today I've got the rods on the roof because today I get to go fishing. So this is the glorious piece of river that I look after for my club. I say I look after it, to be honest, it looks after me. How could you not be rested and calm and full of tranquility when you come to a fabulous place like this? This is the River Meon at St Clair's. You've already seen me plod my way through the gorgeous herd of Guernsey cows to get to the river. This piece of water is running through a piece of land that's owned by the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Wildlife Trust. I am surrounded by some of the loveliest countryside anywhere in the county, and this river is absolutely full of fish. I've got a couple of tactics to fish today. I've got nymph tactics and I've got dry fly. I really want to catch on a dry. It's been a bright, sunny, hot day though, so my bet at the moment is that the fish will be waiting to come up to try and take some mayflies and a few little olives. Can't wait to get going actually, so I'm going to have a cast or two. Let's keep our fingers crossed, eh? This little river is a gem, you know. It might be small, but there are a few really lovely surprises in here. I'm already seeing one or two things hatching. It's 7:20 at night. We've got about 2 hours of daylight left to fish. What I'm expecting is mayfly hatch, spinner fall, lots of olives, fish rising. At the moment, although I'm seeing a few mayfly, I'm not seeing any rises. So I've stuck a nymph on, little size 18, coiled nymph with a red band around the silver bead, and I'm just going to prospect my way up this little stretch here around the corner to see if I can find a few fish. I'm using a Euro nymph setup, so a really fine floating line with an orange indicator and about 3 feet of 3-pound line with that nymph on the end, and it's just a case of watching out for the trees behind you, casting this upstream and watching the line floating on the surface to give you bites. Ha ha! Oh, half the time in the air. It's only a little fella. But the wonder of this place is these fish are completely wild. Isn't that a splendid little fella? I don't want to keep them out of the water too long. They're so precious, these fish, completely wild in this part of the river. We don't stock here. So, you know, there are so many of these fish in here. It's such a joy to catch them. And then what's he? Tiny little fella. I'm going to pop him straight back in. I know there are lots more to come, but that's really gratifying. Fishing for about 5 minutes, get the right tactic straight away, the right fly. In fact, let me just show you the fly, shall I? If I can extract it from the bush. So that's the little fly that's done the damage, a quilled nymph, size 18 hook, 2.5mm tungsten bead, a quilled body, and you can just about to see the little red collar around the outside. Fantastic fly that is, absolutely wonderful. Need to have another go straight away, see if there are any more fish in this pool. Another one. Hey! This is a better fish. Well, I said there were 1 or 2 surprises in here. This is a much better fish. This is putting a proper bend in. It's right in the snag. Oh, got him. I've got him. Oh, what a creature. Wow, that's a belter of a trout. So how about that for a special fish? I've been fishing for 10 minutes and I've had 3. This is about as big as they get in this fantastic piece of river. That's a completely wild creature caught in 18 inches of water. Took that same little size 18 nymph, and tore off all around me into the snags, into the reeds in the side. I thought for a second I was going to lose him. I'm using really light tippet. But look at the spots on this fella. Isn't he a glorious creature? And every single worry and care of the day is gone. So what I'm waiting for is the evening rise. That special moment when things start popping, when things start hatching all over the river and you start to see this place come to life. There have been quite a few of the club members fishing this lovely piece of water this season. And what's happened, from what I can gather, is that it switches on around about 8 o'clock. So we've got about 20 minutes or so to wait. Got one, another little one. Just saw a fish rise a little bit further up. Oh, off he goes. Long distance catch and release, that's what we like to see. But yeah, there's a few signs that it's just starting to happen. There's a lot of water to go at here. Very different pools, very different sort of bits and pieces, really interesting stuff. So it won't be long before I switch to dry. You know, I said 8 o'clock, it's now 10:02. So we're getting to the point of it being that time. Well, I've just come around that corner and it's now exactly 8 o'clock, and guess what happened as I came round? In that pool behind me, I've just seen 2 fish rise. So the moment is upon us. I've seen also some mayfly spinners bouncing up and down on the water surface, or should I say duns. So I've tied this on. This is a spinner pattern of a mayfly. It's got an orange butt on it to try to attract the fish to take. One of the issues you get in this sort of water condition is when there's so much natural food, why are they going to select your fly, some fluff and some feathers, ahead of a delicious, tasty, crunchy mayfly? I don't know if they're crunchy actually. I'm not going to try one to find out, but I expect they're quite crunchy. They look quite big. Certainly not coming up very regularly, so I think I'm going to have to move further up the fishery and explore some more of this wonderful countryside. I see my friends are still having quite a nice evening. Evening, Gertrude, how are you? Now, one of the problems with being the river keeper and coming fishing on your own piece of water is you see all the jobs that need to be done. You see this here, all this foliage. 3 weeks ago I trimmed all of that flat and it's grown back again. So the next time I come, I will be coming with the petrol strimmer and all the smelly stuff. Well, rather frustratingly, I can't get them to come up. But I tell you what, there's so many fish in here, it's incredible. Another little perfect River Meon wild brownie. Safely in the net. Look at him, isn't he glorious? Look at his spots. A wonderful creature. I'm going to get him straight back. Whoa! So that is 9 fish in just over an hour. So I'm quite happy. I do want one on a dry though. I really do want one on a dry. Patience, Mr. Ford. Patience. Right, the time has come. Lots of fish are rising in this pool up above me. Just a little bit outside casting range, so I'm just going to move up. I reckon I've seen 10 fish rise here. So rather than fishing a mayfly pattern, which I think they're ignoring, I'm going to fish this. This is a little tiny olive emerger. The pink on it is for me to see, not for the fish, so that's an indicator. And actually it pokes through the surface, and that little bit of purple, I'm hoping, will just attract a fish to take. There are lots of fish rising in this pool. Don't want to get too close because we just spook the pool and then they'll stop rising. Also trying very carefully to pick the line up off the water without making too much of a disturbance. And there we are, we're in. Oh, how about that? Brilliant. There he is. Nailed it. Lovely fish. Little white flash on his anal fin and a tiny red mark on the adipose. Stunning little creature. I've just seen the telltale sign of a fish launching itself out of the water to intercept a mayfly in midair. So I'm going to take the emerger off now, throw caution to the wind. There are still fish rising in that pool, and put that mayfly pattern back on. So it's now 5 to 9, and I've put the mayfly pattern back on, and look at that, first chuck. Oh, first chuck, and that's a nice fish. I love it. This river's amazing. Oh, what a beautiful little fish. You can't believe that a fish like that, all of, what, 10 ounces maybe, has engulfed that mayfly pattern. Size 12 that mayfly is. Just goes to show when they start to get on it, that's why this is such an extraordinary method. I'm afraid time's beaten me. It's now too dark to see to tie on a fly, and I've just lost my mayfly. So in a tree, I have to tell you. The moon's up, it's 25 past 9, and home is beckoning. I was hoping to show you the whole rest of the fishery, which goes about 1.5 miles in that direction. But to be honest, the fishing in the bottom part has been sensational this evening. I've only been fishing, what, 2 and a bit hours, and I've had 14 fish, 5 on dries and 9 on nymphs. This is one of my favourite pools. I might just drop a nymph in here before I jump in the car and go home. But yeah, what a fantastic evening. And you know, as I said earlier on, when you spend time in an environment like this, all the world's troubles just seem to melt away, don't they?